It is 9 p.m. on the East Coast, and we're running our bumper. That's what you're looking at right now. We've got the recording set to on so that we can play the tape later. We are streaming to Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Lori Hayes is our guest, who is standing by in the green room, counting it down to Studio 20. Well, good evening. Welcome to PJNet.tv. I'm your host, Coach Prasick. It is so good to be with you live on the air if you're watching this live. Now, you don't have to watch it live. You might see it after it's live. But either way, we're glad you stopped in. It is always a pleasure to bring Lori Hayes on board with us. She comes to us about, once a month. And Lori, last time you were here, you were talking about a book that had just come out, including Sam the Pelican.
Yes.
But that's old news now.
Yeah, that was Island Summer.
That was a month ago. Yeah.
It's crazy.
Well, I noticed that the air is getting a little drier here in Florida. Not that it's not hot, but it's just not as hot.
Yes.
And the leaves are starting to, it's coming. So Christmas can't be far away. So you decided to write a Christmas book. Here it is. It'll be out a week from yesterday.
Yeah, the 19th. So is that Monday?
7 days from now. What is today anyway? Wednesday. That'll be Tuesday. It'll be out Tuesday of next week, Lori. You
Wow.
put that on your calendar. October 19th.
You think I'd have that memorized, wouldn't
you? I remember right after your previous book, Island Summer, came out, you were so excited to visit St. Louis for the CPE, the Christian Product
Yes.
Expo. But not only that, you got to get on the Faith Radio, but you also had a book signing at a Barnes
Yes.
and Noble. We're not talking about the local gift shop, we're talking about the place do they sell coffee there for $5 like Starbucks does?
Probably.
Really?
I don't know. I didn't price it out.
Okay. But you're going back.
They invited me back, and they wanted me to come back at the end of October, early November, but my schedule is packed. It's unbelievable. So the earliest I could go back was December the 4th. So that's what I'm going to do. And I'm excited.
They invited you back.
They did. Isn't that cool?
I've never been invited back anywhere. I've been invited plenty of places, but I've never been invited back. Is it a big store?
Yeah. It's just like all the other Barnes and Nobles.
Well, the ones that are still left.
Yeah. I mean, they're doing a great job just giving me opportunities and promoting me. I'm so grateful.
Well, why don't you have another one of those class reunion get-together things while you're doing it?
I know. That was fun. That was the way to do it.
Yeah, but it'll be everybody can't get drunk at Barnes and Nobles. I mean, what are they going to do? Drink coffee and be sober? Be alert?
Yeah. Maybe I should do that. I get to see my family again. That'll be fun.
We want to talk about your book, but how many you've written? I know of this one and Island Summer. How many beach-inspired books do you plan to write?
As many as I possibly can.
I knew that was
I
coming.
have already started on a new one, a new series.
Are horses going to be a part of it?
Of course.
Did I see a picture of you riding a horse the other day?
Yeah. Yes. Last year I do ride,
No, I
but
didn't.
I've been riding since I was a child, like 3rd grade. But to be honest, I haven't really ridden a horse since about 2016, other than just like the picture you saw. And I got to ride around the Kentucky Horse Park on a tour, but I haven't really ridden in a while.
But the wild horses are, they're just there to look at.
Right. You don't want to ride those.
They ain't
Please
gonna
don't ride those.
No, I had a very bad experience as a young child riding a horse, and I haven't done that. You know how the
Yes.
saddle. I won't take a lot of your time, but you know how the saddle is on top of the horse, on its back, and
Hopefully.
they cinch it underneath the belly, so it'll stay there. Well, apparently they didn't cinch it very well. So
Oh,
next thing you know,
yeah.
and his horse is dragging and kicking me, and I'm like 8 years old.
Oh, wow. That would
Huh?
traumatize you. But actually, a lot of horses have learned to puff their belly up with air. And when you tighten the center of the girth, and then they realize, hey, this dummy isn't probably going to check this again. Not that you were a dummy at 8 years old, but the people that put you on them, they should have rechecked it. So what they do is, in a few minutes after they walk a little bit, they let all that air out, and then
Yeah,
the saddle's loose
it
so
goes
they can
out
breathe.
out the back. Exhaust. We'll just call it exhaust.
Yeah. So anyway, that was a picture of me riding on the beach. I had no intentions of riding. I don't normally ride without a helmet, and I don't normally ride with shorts. But I took my daughter and her friend. We were there for a week. I was there for a riding retreat, and they were doing the online schooling from there. And so one day they talked me into taking them horseback riding on the beach. So I just planned to, pull up and watch and take pictures. And then they said, "Oh, well, we have a horse you can ride." And I said, "Okay." So that's what we did.
Well, Sam the Pelican is part of Coastal Christmas or not?
No, and I miss him. It just didn't fit in.
Did you have any
It's
idea
just
when you put Sam the Pelican in your book that it was going to be a big deal?
No, I had no idea. I didn't even know where Sam the Pelican came from. I was just writing, and he showed up. He totally surprised me.
Well, kind of like the grasshopper outside the window. Folks, if
Yeah,
Lori
if you hear any
freaks out,
noises.
or if you hear a lot of loud noises, or the cat is very curious about this grasshopper that's on the window. Just
On the outside.
Yeah, it's on the outside. But the
Yeah.
cat, they're not that. And I'm told the cat is not highly mobile. But folks, if things go crazy, we'll cut away to. We don't have any commercials to cut away to, but we'll find a way.
As JD says, that's a lot of cat. I think he said something about that. But she moves about 3 minutes a day, and that was her 3 minutes.
Usually when
got
you go
on here.
on the air. Mhm.
Yeah, right. She comes to life.
How
But
many
anyway, the bright light that I have is shining, and it's attracting this grasshopper to the outside of my window.
Locusts, I call them. Coastal
Well,
Christmas.
whatever.
What do you do for characters? Any borrowed characters from the previous book?
Yeah. So in Island Summer, there are two sisters, and the story was about one of the sisters. And this book is about the other sister. But you don't have to read them in order for it to make sense. They're single title, really. So so she's in that, and do you want me to tell you about it?
Well, you don't want to tell too much, or they won't buy the book.
Not too
but,
much. No, but her mom's trying to talk. They're trying to talk her into moving to the coast, and she wants to have a foster home, and she hears of this house for sale in the marsh, and she goes to see it and falls in love with it. But there's one stipulation to buying it, and that's the hero who's selling it, whose grandparents used to live there. His stipulation is that she has to have one more Christmas at the homestead for his family.
Mhm.
And she does not like Christmas. And so she has to agree to that. And he agrees to help her restore the house to get it ready for the party, as part of, an incentive. And then just a little hint, as they're restoring the house, they find these old letters from the Vietnam War era, from his grandparents. And he never really got to know his grandfather at all, never even met him. So he gets to learn about his grandparents and his grandmother, a whole new side of her, and then the grandfather he never met. So it's a love story within a love story. It's pretty exciting. I don't really like history too much, but I really got into researching the Vietnam War.
Oh, you should
I don't
have
know
called
where
me.
that came from.
You should have called me.
Oh,
Yeah.
well,
I know all about these. I'm not that expert on the Vietnam War, but the World War II, I know more about it than most of the people that lived through it. I study it.
And I hear a lot of people write about the World War II, but not so many with the Vietnam War. So I don't know why I picked that, but it just kind of called me.
Well, there's not a whole lot of people left alive, anyway. When all these books are coming out, and I I'm amazed. I mean, it's like every night I'm talking about a new book coming out with somebody with a new book coming out. But I'm watching Facebook, and there is cover reveal after cover reveal. It's almost as if they get together and say, let's flood the market with new books so that nobody can buy them all, and they just leave you guys to fight it out. Do you have any tricks up your sleeve? Do you make your book small enough to fit into a stocking, maybe?
I have all kinds of tricks up my sleeve. First of all, I hired a publicist, which was a very smart thing to do. I mean, I'm amazed. Now I feel like I have this team of people helping me. And when I get overwhelmed, they just keep emailing me. I need this. I need that. Look at this. Approve this. Otherwise, I'd probably procrastinate and not do any of it. So they keep me on target, which is great. It's been a huge help. So we're giving away some contests, and they're even going to mail the winners the copies. I don't have to do that. Thank goodness. I mean, there's just only so much time in the day because I work full time and I have kids.
You have a day job, anyway, and you're a mom.
Yeah, and I'm so grateful to their help. And then they're doing eBlast, which is something that I'm learning about. There are paid services, and this one came recommended to me, and they'll send out these eBlasts to over 100,000 readers. These are all just things that will make it easier to sell, because I can only do so many events, which I do think the events are important too, but my schedule is full of events. So there's only so much you really can't fit any more in. So we have to do something different, like these e-blasts, which I'd never really heard of those until this book.
I'm anxious to hear the result, because I've heard the good, the bad, and the ugly. I think a lot of the people that market themselves for this, I think they're selling books. How to make a fortune on eBay, how to make it's like, who's got the credentials? But I'd be curious to know, your level of satisfaction or disappointment, whichever the case may be. We hope it works out. I'm glad that you've got a publicist, because it's not very often, but when I have an opportunity to work with a publicist, it takes everything to a whole new level.
Yeah, it does. It feels like a whole new level.
Yeah, because they're professionals. I mean, I just got another book in the mail today from a publicist.
Oh.
I told my wife, I said, I did not sign up to be a reader. I mean, I haven't read any books before we started doing this.
Maybe you should do that. Be a reviewer.
They must think I am one. Because it's like,
that's another thing too. She has access to reviewers that I never heard of. I mean, they're apparently big. I just wasn't in the loop, and she has access to people that I don't have access to. And so we have a couple of reviewers reviewing it, and it just takes it to a whole new level.
So where did the idea come from to get a publicist?
I think I told you this before, but I accidentally met her.
Oh,
I think
with
it was
the dress
in 2010.
thing.
With the dress thing.
Yeah.
And then I just thought to myself, then someday she's going to be my publicist. And then not that long ago, I just happened to think about her, and I reached out to her, and she remembered the whole dress thing, of course.
Uh-huh.
And then we connected, and I ended up hiring her, and it's been one of the best things I've done.
That's
she's
awesome.
Full of good ideas, too. She's always telling me things like, you need to put this on your website. You need to tweak this. This is, this needs to be tweaked. So every day I come home to like 5 emails. It's great. It's just like, you need to look at this over, look this over, Do you want to do
Well,
this opportunity? Do you want to go to this event and, change this and change that? And I love it because it's somebody giving me direction, and that feels great.
well, you got
You're
me.
tongue tied.
Well, you got me thinking. Okay, because normally when I hire people, I tell them what to do.
Yeah, but I'm paying her for her knowledge.
How how well do you take criticism?
I'm learning to take it pretty well.
I mean, I can take it, but I'm not used to paying people to tell me what to do. That's bizarre.
Oftentimes your agent will do that. Your publisher is going to do that. I mean, you have to have a tough skin to be in this
That's
business.
why I'm not a writer. See, it,
you can't get attached to your writing. I mean, sure, it's a part of you, but it cannot be your baby. It's if you want to be a career author, it needs to be a business.
do you,
And they know better than I do how to get me where I want to go.
things have happened so fast, Lori. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, when we first met, you were just,
Yes.
do you still think of yourself as new at this?
No, not really. I
You,
feel like I've entered this new level, and I'm hoping that that's the case. But I mean, I do think you can always learn, of course.
well,
I read from the best and try to learn as much as I can still. I don't think that the learning ever stops.
of course not. But I guess you have to grow up fast.
Yeah.
It's a business, and but a lot of the people that have been on the trajectory that you're on don't aren't single mom raising kids, aren't working full-time jobs. Gosh, and right, it was only what, a little over a year ago that you were down and out. I mean, you were down for the count for weeks.
Yeah. With the COVID thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And it's just been a whirlwind. And trying to edit 2 books at one time. I mean, I would turn it in and think I could take a month off, and then a week later I'd have the second book in my inbox. And it just kept going like that for months. And there were times where I wasn't sure how I was going to make it. I literally had time to do nothing else but come home, take care of my children, feed them. When they hide up in their rooms because they're
Try to get
teenagers,
them.
then I
Yeah.
would write some more. I'd write on my lunch hour. I'd get up at 6 in the morning. I would write, before I went to work. And I mean, I made it. Shoo.
Well,
I would prefer not to do 2 books again at the same time, but I would jump on the opportunity if I needed to.
well, you got to do what you got. When
Yeah,
when there's a knock at the
that's
door,
what
you
you want.
answer. Yeah, I mean,
That's right.
I've noticed that you find recluse and respite in the at the coastal area at the beach. So where are the
Yes.
kids and the cat when you're getting creative and all that?
So the kids go to my ex-husband's house.
Their
We
father.
share custody. So that does give me more time to write.
Uh-huh.
And then the cats, I have automatic feeders, and I
Huh?
set them up. I have automatic feeders with timers on it 2 times a day, and you record your voice like, here, kitty, kitty, come here, kitty, kitty, come eat your food. And when they hear that, they hear it drop down, and, I just make sure it's full of
Well,
cat food, and
and how
off I
about the
go.
litter? How about the litter box? Does it just clean itself too?
Well, I don't stay gone that long,
Okay.
but
Just
and you can put 2 litter boxes there if you had to. And then I usually have my daughter come over and check on them and clean the cat box a couple times.
yeah.
Yeah.
I used to. I've never had a cat. I don't like cats. They're disobedient. I haven't, but
They're into-
I have I did marry someone who had a cat. They make these kitty box liner things. They look like a garbage bag.
uh-huh.
Okay, well, fine. No, what I do is get a big trash bag like you'd have, contractor. Stick the box inside the trash bag, kind of press it down, fill it up with litter, tuck what's left underneath it, and then when you get ready to change the litter, all you do is drag it out, turn it inside out, boom, tie it
That's a
off.
really good idea.
It's a life hack, folks. I
Thank you
am
for that tip.
I'm the last person you would go to for advice on kittens and cats, but I learned I don't like dealing with kitty litter. Okay, some people have trained their cats to use the potty,
I know, I've seen that. And they flush the toilet too, I think.
and they flush. I don't know how they do
I
that.
think so. I don't know how you teach a cat to do that. My cat only moves
I don't
10
see
minutes
it.
a day. She's not flushing her toilet.
I don't think a cat can be taught to do anything. Okay, they don't.
Yeah.
Well,
But if your ex-wife or wife or whoever it was had a cat, she should be the one probably doing the litter if you don't like it. Just saying.
once I came up with that hack, we never bought those stupid things again, and we just used a big trash bag.
There you go.
And it works, you know. All right, we're out of time. Any parting thoughts? By the time we see you again, next time you'll be getting ready to go to Kansas City.
No, St. Louis, yeah.
St. Louis, same thing.
Yeah, I guess I'll be back by then. Yeah.
I thought you said you're going in December.
I am, early December.
You'll be back in November. It's October.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll see you in November, and then I'll see you in December after I go.
So we'll get to see you right before you go, and then we'll get to see you right when you get back. So that'll be interesting. Well, Lori, congratulations! You're an inspiration and a role model for many. And I see our next guest is on their way in. I'm going to let them in real quick because they can't see what's going on. And but Lori, thanks so much for sharing with us, and we look forward to seeing you in about a month. And we appreciate all that you do, and just you're an inspiration to us all.
Thank you for having me on.
Glad to do it. Folks, oh my goodness, what did I do wrong? Here, try it. Whoa. I didn't do something right, man. This thing's messed up. All right, well, folks, anyway, yes, we have another guest coming up. Normally, at the bottom of the hour on Wednesdays, you would be enjoying Michelle Medlock Adams, who is, by the way, in our chat room right now, but has given her time to a special guest that she wanted to invite to join us, and he is getting himself ready as we speak. He's in the green room, and he'll be here in just a few minutes. I've got some work to do between now and then. However, his name is Dr. Baron Hall, and you'll see him in just a few minutes. Before that happens, would you ask yourself these two questions? What is the boldest thing you've ever done for Jesus Christ? The second question is, how long ago was it when you did that? Let's not be satisfied with either answer. All right.